the director of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service visited Arkansas and explained the Endangered Species Act.
In September of 2013, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service listed the Neosho mucket as endangered and the rabbit's foot mussel as threatened under the Endangered Species Act. In response, it is proposing to designate 769 miles of rivers and streams in Arkansas as critical habitat for the freshwater mussels. Agriculture, state, and county officials have expressed concerns about the proposal, and Agency Director Dan Ashe met with them to discuss the issue at the Farm Bureau Center in Little Rock April 17th. The proposal would designate critical habitat for the rabbit's foot mussel in 28 Arkansas counties, and the Neosho mucket in Benton and Washington counties. Ashe tried to assure those at the meeting the proposal would not negatively impact economic activity in the state, but they were not convinced.
I think experience and my research shows that critical habitat, a designation of critical habitat does carry some significant liabilities for property owners and businesses and farmers and counties and such. And I would have hoped that he would have agreed with that, but he didn't, and the reason he didn't is because the way the law is structured.
As a result, Senator Mark Pryor has introduced legislation S. 2084, the Community Protection Act, requiring comprehensive analysis of the economic impact prior to the agency's listing of any new species. Arkansas's congressional delegation sent a letter to Ashe expressing concern and asking the agency to reconsider the proposal, saying it has the potential to impact activities on more than 40% of the state's surface area. The letter also states that 90% of the rivers and streams included in the critical habitat pass through private property, a disproportionate impact on productive land.
The critical habitat designation does not come with any rules or regulations totally affixed to it so that we know exactly how it's going to impact us. We do know that it's going to inhibit farming and agriculture and building dams and people using their own property for their own use. So it's hard to come up with a cost associated with it and how it's going to impact us, because all we know is we've been designated as a critical habitat, but with no particular rules and regulations attached to that.
I certainly have learned a lot today, and so we'll reopen our comment period. We'll have the opportunity for people to provide us with additional information, and then we'll ultimately be making a decision in the later part of the fall this year. Then we have additional species that are being considered for listing under the Endangered Species Act. I think a dialogue like we had here today is going to be key for moving forward in a cooperative way.
Ashe says the comment period will be for 60 days, but when it will reopen has not been announced. Mike Freeze is a partner in Keogh Fish Farm. Like other farmers and ranchers, he just wants clarification of how the proposal will impact him.
Some of what we heard in there was not what I expected to hear, so I'd like to try to see a lot more written assurances that if your land falls in critical habitat, that doesn't put any greater burden upon you than it does for just the species being present.
In a letter to the Fish and Wildlife Service, Arkansas Farm Bureau noted that an economic analysis performed by the Association of Arkansas Counties determined the minimum cost of the habitat designation in the state would be more than $20 million, 5 times the cost the FWS projected for Arkansas and 11 other states.